Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Let's get a few things straight. This is the HP EliteBook 850. It's part of their enterprise class line of executive notebooks. It's got a lot of features that the average user won't use, is missing a few features that the average user will want, and at $900 to $2,200, if the average user were to come to me asking for an inexpensive, super thin, light, and sexy notebook, I would say no. Nuh-uh. Forget it. Never. Not going to happen. Hells to the nah, don't buy. With that out of the way, let me explain why the average business and enterprise class user might be clamoring for a piece of the 850. At 14 3/4 inches long, 10 inches wide, less than an inch thick, and just over 4.4 pounds heavy, the 850 isn't the sveltest of notebooks, but at under 22 millimeters thick, it actually does meet the criteria for an ultrabook. Our test model, the EliteBook 850 G1, is powered by a 4th generation dual-core 2.1 GHz Intel i7-4600U Haswell CPU on top of 8 gigabytes of 1600 GHz DDR3 system memory. It sports a 15.6-inch 1080p anti-glare display running on integrated Intel graphics and a 180 gigabyte Intel SSD. It's packed with ports, with 4 USB 3.0, a media card reader, combo audio jack, an innovative hideaway Ethernet port, VGA full-size DisplayPort, smart card slot side-mounted docking station connector, and a Kensington lock port. The user accoutrements are top-notch. The illuminated keyboard has plenty of throw and provides enough clicky action to give proper feedback. The off-center multi-touch touchpad features 2 sets of physical buttons, one above and one below, and is complemented by a touch stick for those who like joystick control. Stereo speakers pump out passable sound, and the screen is bright and color-rich, with a 720p camera tucked just above the display. Hardware buttons for Wi-Fi and volume keep the most used features in finger reach, while the optional fingerprint reader is a nice touch. In terms of performance, the EliteBook isn't a gaming notebook, but it more than held its own in the mainstream business class category. The super slim 3-cell battery gave us an above-category average of 7.5 hours of runtime with power-saving features enabled. It's a great representative of its class of notebooks, but what makes the EliteBook 850 G1 worth its considerable price tag to business and enterprise users isn't the styling or the performance, but the toughness, security, and manageability. Above all, the EliteBook 850 is designed to withstand punishment. The black magnesium lid is covered in a soft-touch matte finish to reduce scratching from the odd toss and carry. The keyboard, mounted on a brushed aluminum deck, combines a wear-resistant key mechanism, an underkey mylar film, and a small drainage channel to give users a keyboard that is responsive and 50 times more resistant to wear, as well as almost undrownable. To offset the occasional user error or malicious software attack, HP has baked a BIOS-based security feature called HP Sure Start into the 850, which keeps a backup copy of the firmware that is automatically loaded if the primary BIOS is corrupted. The 850 has been designed to meet or surpass the 810G mil-spec standards for resistance to pressure, heat, humidity, shock, and altitude, with a combined total of 150,000 hours of testing in a lab. Combined with HP DriveGuard, which automatically stops a rotating drive if it detects excessive movement, the EliteBook is pretty much impervious to anything other than an intentional effort to break it. On the security side, the 850 is teeming with toys of paranoid goodness. It includes a standard smart card slot and self-encrypting drive so you can both keep unauthorized users out of the system and keep your file secure even if someone steals the drive. The 850 incorporates Mac-based hardware LAN asset management to let you keep tabs on where your assets are and what they're doing. Intel's vPro technology is baked into the EliteBook 850, preventing attacks below the operating system. Security and durability are good, but what really gets my geek going is the service and upgradability of the EliteBook 850. A slide of a switch allows you to pull off the back cover, revealing everything. And pretty much everything but the CPU and video part can be upgraded. There are 2 memory DIMM slots supporting up to 16 gigabytes of DDR3 memory. The combo Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and cell interface cards are both swappable. The battery can be replaced with the flip of a lock. The drive tray slides out with 4 screws. And there is an additional mSATA port, which means that you can run a dual drive setup to maximize speed and storage space for your particular application.
Well, there you go. There's a quick rundown of the HP, the Executive EliteBook, only for the elite users.
Only for, yes.
Padre's standing right here next to me with his fabulous EliteBook. You know, I ordered some years ago, and it's still floating around the studio, an Executive Dell notebook. It was really thin in the pre-Ultrabook days. Who has that? You use that, Burke? Somebody uses that. And it was very, very expensive, and it had a wireless charger, and it never really worked right at all. But this is a category because business buyers, you know, want something prestigious.
Yes, yes. They want something prestigious, and what HP was trying to do was they were trying to build an Ultrabook for the people who cared about things like encryptability and LAN management.
Enterprise.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's why at the beginning of the review I said, look, if you're the average Joe looking for an inexpensive Ultrabook that's sleek and
that's not
sexy,
this.
it's not
No,
this.
yeah.
But if you're in enterprise, there's a lot of things to really like about this. They have designed this for everything from the ports that they've included, like a VGA port. How many times do you see a VGA
Yeah.
port on a consumer laptop?
And how many times do you care?
You don't care. But if you're a business user and you're going to conferences, that's what you have to plug in.
So let's get the
always
pros.
need that.
Let's get the pros and cons.
Pros and cons. Super durable, crazy durable. Everything from the magnesium lid to the fact that you could drown the keyboard and it will keep working, to the fact that it's mil-spec tested. It's really flexible. A lot of ports. It's also super expandable. I do like the fact that I can open up the bottom of the notebook like this.
That's nice. That was easy.
Yeah.
Did you have to remove screws?
Nope, that's it. Just one latch, and I get access to the battery, to the memory. I can upgrade the hard drive,
Holy
the
cow.
SSD. Yeah,
That's the IT department again, isn't it? That's something the IT guys want. Yeah.
Exactly. It is enterprise-based. It's uber secure. So yeah, that's the pros. On the con side, it's price. You know, $900 to $2,200 for a device that a user is going to look at and say, no.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cash.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a pretty big price range.
It's a good price range. And so what I'd say...
Would the $900 one not be one you'd want?
$900, no. $900 would be great for, like, in enterprise if you're going to deploy a lot
And
of...
it's an i3 and lower amount of RAM.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, again, the user would rather spend that on something
And
else.
you just put this on like...
Just
Okay.
tape it that way.
Buy, try, don't buy.
This is an easy one. If you're an average user, don't buy it.
No.
Not even close. But if you're purchasing for a small business, for an enterprise, if you want something that's upgradable, absolutely a buy.
That's the HP EliteBook for enterprise, and this model was the
The 850G1.
850G1 was the model as reviewed.